let's get on to our first main topic today. And our first main topic today gets sent in to us by Toby, who writes, "Hey, John, how you doing? So I just saw the Jungle Cruise trailer, and not gonna lie, it seems fun. But I do keep wondering, Dwayne Johnson always seems to be the same character in every movie he's in. Like he basically has his own genre at this point. I don't particularly mind, but do you think this is a good or a bad thing?" Rob, it's a good question. We're seeing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a lot of stuff. Oftentimes it feels like it's the same guy. Is he always the same guy, and is that a good or a bad thing for somebody like him?
You know what, John, I got to tell you, I thought this Jungle Cruise trailer was delightful. I really like the chemistry that he has with Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt?
Oh, yeah, she's great.
And I thought she was awesome. I like the period feel of it. It really captured, dare I say it, that first Pirates of the Caribbean feel to me. Like, how could they make a theme park ride into something that I'm interested in seeing, much less the Jungle Cruise that might have been cool in the 1950s when they opened Disneyland, but now the Jungle Cruise leaves me a little cold, I'll be honest. But I watched this movie and I'm like, okay, now here's how I feel about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. As a teenager of the 80s, when I would go see a Schwarzenegger movie, whether it was Commando, which rules to this day, or even a movie like Red Heat or The Running Man. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was kind of the same dude in every movie. But if he was in a movie that served his strengths, like Commando, when he's throwing like table saw blades at people, at dudes, and taking them out, I'm all for that. Like, Schwarzenegger could be in Paul Verhoeven's very expensive Total Recall. He could be in a lower budget action film like a Commando. He could do a movie in a bit of respectability of a comedy like Kindergarten Cop. And he basically was the same dude. But I liked Kindergarten Cop. I liked Commando. I liked Running Man. I liked Red Heat even, which is not a great movie, where he's playing a Russian, but I liked it. So I think there's nothing wrong. I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson knows what he is. He's very understanding. He's not trying to stretch as a thespian. He's not trying to do the world according to Garp when, like, Robin Williams did a great turn as a dramatic actor. I think he brings something to the screen. He knows what it is. He's comfortable with what it is. He works hard, and he brings us joy. And I think I'm all for that. If he's going to be a different variation of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in every movie, I have no problem with that. As long as the movies, he chooses great collaborators for the most part. He has good co-stars. He allows his co-stars to shine. And he seems to be having a good time. And I think it's infectious. And what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Where can you go? Look, here's the thing about Dwayne Johnson. I will say this. Number one, he's not always the same guy, but he is often the same guy.
Right.
Similar
genre.
I would refer people particularly to three movies that I would refer people to. If you really want to see Dwayne Johnson able to do other things, number one is Pain and Gain. Yes. I actually quite liked him in Pain and Gain.
I love that movie.
He's in another movie that I really like, that it might actually be my favorite actual performance of his, which is called Snitch, where he plays the father of a kid who gets in trouble. Really like that movie a lot. Then he's got another movie where he's a very different type of character called Faster. Not to be confused with Fast or Fast and the Furious. It's called Faster. But it's actually really quite good. And he is a different kind of character in that. That being said, admittedly, he is quite often just Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Sure.
But there's method to that madness. Look, Dwayne Johnson knows that's what the people want. The people want The Rock. The people want the people's champ. That's what they have fallen in love. The audience has fallen in love and grown accustomed to trusting that when we go see a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie, we're going to get that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson charisma. We're going to get that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson charm. We're going to get that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson smile with those perfect teeth of his. We're going to get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson flexing his overly huge muscles. We're going to get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He knows that's what people want. And so those are the movies that they make. And he knows he's only got a limited amount of time that he can do these. Like, Dwayne is in his mid-40s now. So it's not like the clock is running out, but he knows he has a window of time that he can be all these things. So he's cranking them out right now. And why not? So I agree that it does feel like when I see a trailer for Jungle Cruise, it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson again. It's the same character that he's in Fast and the Furious, the same character that he's in San Andreas. It's the same character that he's in the Skyscraper on Fire one, whatever that was called. He's the same guy, but that's what people are looking for. Is he capable of more? Yeah, he's shown he's capable of a bit more, but it's what do you say, Rob? It ain't show friends.
It's show business. That's Bob Sugar and Jerry Maguire. But here's the thing, what I like about him is whether he's off screen, whether he's on the Graham Norton show, whether he's talking about his Samoan heritage, he loves Samoa, where he's from. He put that in Hobbs and Shaw. Everything about him, I just like this dude.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's the people's champ. And what's wrong? Hollywood needs a reliable leading man who's bringing us. You know what? When I think of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, I think of my hand full of popcorn, stuffing my face with a smile on my face, watching his smile on his face, doing some outlandish stuff. Like, I hate to say it, but I really like San Andreas.
I like San Andreas.
I like my earthquake movies, and even when he's in a movie that I have not seen, Skyscraper, but one day I will catch up to it. I've liked him in almost everything he's in. Central Intelligence,
I really like Central Intelligence.
It's just watching him. Hollywood needs him. There's nothing wrong with genre programmers, and if Dwayne The Rock Johnson is his own genre, so be it.
Dude, I'll tell you what. And he is as nice in person as you might imagine. The first time I met him, I went to go interview him for what was it? It was his G.I. Joe movie. And my wife and Ray, her brother, who does the graphics for the show, lifelong wrestling fans. So they pulled out one of the original Rocky Maivia, Dwayne The Rock Johnson wrestling T-shirts, and that they had buried away. And I wore it to the interview. And I walked into the interview, he's like, he stands up, where did you get that? And he's like, and then we just sat down and chatted for a while. He was great. And I asked him a question. I'll never forget this. I asked him a question. I said, hey, listen, this was while the cameras were rolling. And I said, there is something about you as a performer that audiences just gravitate to, particularly when it comes to these action movies. People trust that when they go see Dwayne The Rock Johnson in movies, they're going to have a good time. Why do you think that is? He stops, he smiles for a second, then he gets a serious face. Let me tell you what it is that makes me great. And he goes on, and then the second time I got to meet him, I was in Las Vegas, and they invited me to go and talk. He was in Vegas as well, to go and talk to him about this new. They wanted to show some clips and talk a little bit about this new project he had going out, right? And I was supposed to meet him at his hotel at like 9 in the morning. So I get there about 8:30. I'm just sitting in the hotel lobby. And all of a sudden, the doors to the hotel, main lobby, and in walks Dwayne The Rock Johnson in shorts and a tank top, obviously just coming from his like 6 a.m. workout. Because he does. He works out like 2 to 3 hours every morning. He goes 6 a.m. workout. He comes walking in and sees me, chat for a bit. He's just talking about his workout and how much. I mean, he's personable, he's charming, and I think that really comes across on screen, and people just feel like they want to go and hang out with The Rock when he's doing a movie, and that's why he keeps playing The Rock, I think. So, I don't know. We'll see where he goes as he gets older. He might want to evolve, but I think there have been a couple other movies to show he can evolve. What do you guys think about that? Is Dwayne Johnson always just Dwayne Johnson? And is that a good or a bad thing? Leave me your thoughts. Jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right.